Hey guys, do you feel this instance of freezing or this feeling of like your throat tightening or this feeling that you'll choke if you have or if you eat solid food, especially when you're experiencing swallowing anxiety? Actually, you may be thinking that the problem is the solid food, it needs blending, it needs making it to be liquid. While that has its place, and I'll explain why. Taking liquids may help you temporarily, and I'll also explain to you why it is not the actual solution. So, let's talk about swallowing anxiety. So, with swallowing anxiety, actually, you are afraid of swallowing. Like you see swallowing or the act of taking food down your gullet as a dangerous activity, and when your mind sees that as a dangerous activity, it will detest it or it will not want to do it. So it will create all kinds of mechanisms to prevent you from doing it. That's what fear does. Fear is preventing us from getting hurt, or your mind is kind of protecting you from something which it has deemed dangerous. It's not dangerous, but the mind has perceived that as dangerous because of a couple of reasons. Let's say past events or all those other incidents which may have triggered this. Now with solid food, what makes it really hard for solid food as compared to liquid is solid food has a lot of steps to it. With solid food, there is the act of chewing, there is the act of it's even the act of just scooping it from a plate or something. That's just, it takes a lot of time. So when something takes a lot of time, the mind will have a lot of time to analyze. So it's like monitoring, like this thing is going to my throat. So the moment your mind, which is now feeling that food is a threat, starts analyzing it, what will happen? That fear, that fight and flight response will kick in, and when it kicks in, you'll end up not eating that meal. And then there's also the aspect of like seeing solid food and seeing because it's a solid meal, the mind will interpret that this thing is so solid, so it will get stuck. That's why some people who are experiencing swallowing anxiety have this feeling of like something stuck in their throat. So now the mind now correlates solid food and something which is stuck in my throat. It would really mean that it will not pass, which means that it will exacerbate that fear of choking, because you want to put another solid inside you. So the mind will be like, hey, that's really dangerous, let's not do that. That's why you may really see that solid food is dangerous, because it's really triggering the mind so much. It's really triggering that fight and flight response system of your body, which makes it really, let's say if you're experiencing swallowing anxiety, that's why some people have relief with blending their meals, because when you blend your meals and you have liquids, it's like number one, it goes faster. It's faster, like it's just about taking it and then pouring it down, and then it goes down the gullet. So even before that fight and flight response kicks in, the food is already going, because the moment you is it something funny about swallowing, that is the moment the food is in here, you'll just go, because it's just a pipe. So what happens is with liquid food, it's faster like this, and then it goes down. So by the time the mind kicks in, by the time that fight and flight response kicks in, the food is already on your stomach, right? Also another thing is with liquid food, the mind may perceive it as not that dangerous because it's liquid. It will not get stuck in your gullet. So the mind will be like, this is okay, this is not that bad, so we'll just take this. So that's why liquid food may seem less dangerous. And yeah, it may be helpful to do that, because if you don't eat, you are going to lose weight, you are going to get a lot of diseases and all that. So it may be okay to do that as a temporary relief, let's say to blend all your food. But for other people, even blending those meals does not work. This is because this blending is not really a permanent fix. It's just something which can help you temporarily, like temporarily, but it will get to a point where the same mind now will be like, we know what you are doing there. You are putting something in our throat, and it will get to the point where it even starts analyzing every small cramps, because something about fear is when you don't deal with it, it magnifies, especially like psychological fear. So when you don't deal with the fear by just blending your food, it will get to the point where the mind now will start analyzing, scrutinizing everything from that thing you are blending. It will scrutinize how roughly it passes through the throat. And the moment your mind starts analyzing that again, it will get to the point where you will not even take the blended meals. It may take some time for others, but so for other people it may kick in immediately. That's why it may reach a point where you cannot even take liquids and you cannot take solids, and you have to use a pipe to your stomach. So it all started with the fear of solids, and then liquids, and then all together you fear eating. That's why the solution is not really changing the solids to liquids. Yes, it helps temporarily, because you don't because so that you don't starve to death. But as you are doing that, find the solution to this psychological fear. Like, what led to your nervous system developing this abnormality or this abnormal fight and flight response? Is it because of of a choking incident? Is it because you saw someone choking? Is it because you were stressed at work, and then you went home and then ate some meal, and then you really felt a choking feeling? There are just a lot of causes, a lot of psychological causes. And once you break through from those psychological causes, it's simply like communicating to the mind that, hey, mind, you were eating well in the past, and also this solid food is turned into liquid by chewing. Yeah, because blended meals and chewed solid food are more of the same, but your mind does not perceive it that way. So by really dealing with the psychological fear, it gets to the point where the mind is in this normal state. It just knows that swallowing is just an automatic thing, and you will not choke. And in instance where choking may happen, it will alert you as well and tell you that, hey, you are sitting with the wrong posture, or chew your food properly. That's now how your nervous system operates normally. So blending is okay, there's no problem, but work to investigate the root of this psychological fear. By overcoming the root of the psychological fear, your mind or your body will feel safe to swallow. It will feel safe to take any kind of meals. And isn't that something enjoyable? For you to be able to enjoy the meals you want, for you to be able to go out there, meet your friends without feeling that you will choke. Hope that makes sense, guys. Until next time, have a nice day.